Hey guys, so for this story, I'm using Wattpad. For this novel because I have a bad memory of where I stop at, and also uh, the French translation I was gonna use had a PDF file, and yeah. Anyway, let's start. Enoshima Junko despaired. Anything and everything ended up just the way she wanted. Everything concluded just as she had hoped, and so she despaired. Why does it always run so smoothly? A hot magma boiled up from the pit of her stomach and exploded as it reached her chest. It spread from her heart and flowed through every muscle in her body. Water was slowly flowing around her feet. She could hear a splashing sound as droplets danced around her. Looking more closely, you could see the water dripping down was a bright red. She took a step and the bright red water met her feet and showered across her. Her clothing was dyed red with blood. Her hair was dyed red with blood. Her face was dyed red with blood. But the girl didn't care. She was intent on just trampling the ground. Then with her entire being, with everything she could muster, with her whole body and soul stomped her foot. She slammed her foot on the ground as if she were a demonic beast on a rampage, and she then yelled a curse at herself. This isn't it! Her screams echoed around her like a stone shattering into small pebbles. But still, she continued. More, more, she screamed. More! I want a more despair-inducing despair. And she continued stamping her foot to the ground. A more despair-inducing despair. Yes, that's what she wished for. She wanted the world to be in despair, and she wanted herself to be taken by despair. More, 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 a more despair-inducing despair. She stopped in mid-sentence suddenly. A spark of an idea interrupted her tirade. Her surprised expression remained on her face. Her entire body was dyed red, stood motionless and still. That's right, she whispered to herself. There was a tap inside her skull like someone pressed a switch, and slowly her entire brain lit up with a notion. Several faces appeared. Of course they were faces she knew. They were the faces of her Hope Speak Academy classmates. Oop, oop, oop. A tremble shook through her body and her lips curled into a smile. She smashed her foot to the earth once again as she cackled and shook. I'm not reading that part. Her frenzied stomping became like a dance. Joy and excitement radiated through her as she danced, and she found that she just couldn't stop herself. Amazing! How incredibly amazing! Remembering the faces of the people who would bring her such despair, she felt something that was similar to a person love, and she danced to the rhythm of despair. This is it. This is a fantastic despair. Super high school level despair. Enoshima Junko revealed in this despair. Sorry, reveled in this despair, smiling and dancing like a madman. This is where it began. This is where a story that ended in despair at the end begun. Hope Speak Private Academy. Only high school students with special talents are allowed into the school sanctioned by the government. They are taught so they can become the hope of the country. It's a school that was deserved to be called the School of Hope. Therefore, since people would say any student that graduates from this school will become successful in life, it attracted some envy, seeing as how now most graduates from this school will become successful in life. It attracted some envy, seeing as how now most graduates are employed in high positions in their profession. It would not take a genius to realize it was not a simple exaggeration. There are two requirements in order to enter Hope Speak Academy: to be currently enrolled as a high school student and to be the very best in their chosen field. There's no entrance exam required to enter Hope Speak Academy, since the students entering all have different talents. It would not make sense. That's one of the school's policies. That actually sounds kind of like my school, where you didn't have to require to take an entrance exam. Students are scouted out by Hope Speak Academy faculty members who are also researching and teaching such talent. It is said these faculty members and staff are very much like the foster parents of talent, finding talent and then nurturing it. To them, it was a very important mission. But now the school was facing a previously unprecedented and unheard of crisis. Hope Speak Academy East District faculty buildings. The buildings lined in the East District were forbidden to student entry. Now inside the building, it was engulfed in a tranquil quietness. The corridors that were once overflowing with the faculty members and staff are now completely empty. Private rooms, large rooms, one were believed were faculty rooms. They were all deserted. Everyone who was in there were all gathered in one place, meeting room number 13. Located on the top floor, holding a capacity of 300 people, it was boasted as the largest in the school. Right now, the school's faculty members had gathered in that meeting room. It was at full capacity. No seats were available at the long table crammed with people. However, it was strangely quiet. Inside the meeting room, only one person's voice could be heard. The owner of that voice was Hope Speak Academy's headmaster, Kiri Jin. He was positioned at the front of the table, face to face with the faculty members who had gathered. Indifferently reading a document he held in his hands. Without even a glimpse of emotion, he read each word off the page with a straight face, no different to an audio recording. Nevertheless, this was an important duty for Kiri. It was his duty to communicate the decision to all the faculty members, no matter how little sense it seemed to make. No, he had no time to harbor any doubts or hesitations to begin with. If he had the time, he would be attending to a number of things. Are you telling us to cover it up? A voice suddenly echoed through the meeting room. In response, he raised his head to the sight of the 300 people opposite him. They weren't glaring or judging him. It was more as if they were staring at him, feeling uncomfortable. With little defense, he felt as though they were grabbing at him through their gazes. He had that feeling as all the hairs on Kirigiri's body stood on end. As if they're trying to escape from their sight, Kirigiri looked to the four people on the right of him. Sorry, guys. They were sitting at the front of the same table, all their faces seized with wrinkles. With their eyes closed tightly, their wrinkles became increasingly noticeable. From Kirigiri's position, he could see the forced wrinkles blurred together into one mass of wrinkles. The members of Hope's Peak Academy Steering Committee's expression seemed to say they had already given up. That's just like you, he unintentionally gave a bitter grin at the thought. Well, it's not like I hoped for anything better from you. He only muttered this quietly, and thought so no one would hear. With that, Kirigiri redirected his gaze in front of him. From this point onward, he was going to use his own words, he had decided. First, allow me to say something, Kirigiri went to remind them. This is a decision Hope Speak Academy Steering Committee had made earlier. The air lowered in temperature, or perhaps it was his own body temperature rising. In any case, Kirigiri wet his mouth with the glass of water in his hand before continuing. We know this decision may be rather abnormal. The mass of wrinkles, that is the we he mentioned, did not move at all, as though they knew from the very start the attitude he would take to express his words. But do not assume we are covering this up for any other reason. If possible, I would be taking responsibility for this, but amount of this relevance cannot be taken care of that way. It would not help even if each and every one of us took responsibility. This is something that is on an entirely different level. Kirigiri paused to sip the rest of his water. Make no mistake, I do not think our decision is a perfect one. If it were, that parade wouldn't be happening. Kirigiri gestured towards a curtained window. Some people turned to look at the window bitterly. Instead, that parade has been increasing recently. Those people in it hate us, and I don't think they're wrong for doing so. At that point, Kirigiri slowly looked around the room at the faces of the faculty members. He communicated his meaning clearly through his expression to everyone. I do not think our philosophy of the hope of all humanity is wrong, but they were to learn of that incident. The meaning of that philosophy is as good as gone. That is a far too great a loss for mankind. Neither the Support Association nor the Alumni want such a thing. The Support Association and the Alumni, the meeting room was filled with whispers, and that is why Hope's Peak Academy Steering Committee's full members and I have come to the conclusion that we should cover this up. Kirigiri let his gaze wander to the old man again. They were as still as they were before, leaving it entirely to him they remained silent and expressionless. As I have already said, we know that this decision is abnormal, but as the researchers and educators, it is our duty to protect talent. There is nothing more tragic than if hostility was directed towards those with talent. Also, we must remember one more thing. The 300-man faculty patiently waited for Kiriko's words. No matter how horrid the crimes committed were, it will not change the fact that student is a very special hope we raised ourselves. The stares of the faculty members changed. However, no one even murmured a whisper. It was simply silent. No one objected. What he said could not be counted. Although his statement was perhaps narrow-minded, everyone had a similar view on the matter. They were all researchers, but at the same time, they were all teachers and their students were there to study. They were all obsessed by that thing called talent. If you weren't someone like that, you did not belong here. That's why they listened to Kirigiri and made their decision. For the idea they believed in, for the future they believed in, for the hope they believed in, they were considered the world's largest incident in Hope Peak Academy's history. A yellow cat peeked out from the bush beside the pavement. The cat wobbly stepped out from the grass onto the road while it lazily moved its tail and looked expectantly, if not thoughtfully, at me. However, its eyes were immediately cautious and they soon turned to fear. As I was skipping along the pavement, the cat assumed I was a threat and quickly retreated to the bush. But such a thing didn't matter to me. The sun's cheering light covered my body as my skirt fluttered. I continued lightly skipping. I was in Hope's Peak Academy's East District in the courtyard. The area was filled with newly constructed buildings and facilities, and even some buildings still in construction. I almost acted like a stitch between the lines of buildings, taking no notice of the muddy cat or the classmates I passed. It had been a while since I last went out, but it wasn't for fun. I skipped simply with a destination in mind. But you know, I'm not the kind of girl who blatantly skips without reason. I have a very good reason for doing so. It's because I'm going to meet someone who I like almost unbearably. The reason may or may not be a good one. Though no student would casually skip around like I am, and several students I passed shot me strange glances, but that doesn't matter to me at all. Girls crying, a lover's quarrel, a person stuck in a wheelchair, not even a person falling from anemia could stop me from skipping. I want to see the one I love, and I want to see him soon. My body shivered at that thought. I skipped up the stairs, not caring whether my skirt flapped too much or not, and continued to skip through the courtyard, and I kept going. Huh? At that point, I suddenly stopped. Where was it I was going? I looked around and realized I didn't recognize where I was. My heart thumped heavily. It's okay, I tried to calm myself desperately. I took out a notebook from the backpack I was carrying. I looked at the last page of the notebook and read a sentence written there. In the East District of Hope's Peak Academy is the biology building. On the third floor is the Neuroscience Institute. I felt a refreshing breeze. Right, it was the biology building, huh? Where was the biology building again? My heart thumped loudly again. It's fine. I hurriedly flipped through the notebook pages until my eyes located a crudely drawn map. This is Hope Peak Academy's East District, so that's where I am. I punched the air in an unintentional pose. I quickly jumped onto the fountain in the middle of the courtyard and compared the buildings I saw to the ones I saw on the map. There are literature, science, physics, art, health, language, and faculty buildings. My thigh was getting wet from the stray droplets of the fountain. I was looking desperately for the biology building as if it were my first time visiting. I wonder if that's it. I saw a square building with a distinctive light green coloring. It seemed to line up what I had drawn in my notebook. Alright. I jumped from the fountain and went into the building. Some of the boys nearby looked surprised. I wonder if my skirt flew up a little too much while jumping off the fountain. That doesn't matter right now. In any case, though I don't remember it, have arrived at my destination. I went to the biology building in an incredible fast dash. At the back of the lobby, I found the stairs. I skipped up the 3 flights of stairs and finally arrived on the 3rd floor. As I went along the corridor, I confirmed where I was by checking the plates on top of the doors. At the end of the corridor, I came to a plate reading Neuroscience Institute. I quickly stopped. I took a deep breath and checked my hair and smelled in my hand mirror. Yup, cute as always. I kept my smile to max. Hello? I entered the laboratory with a frightful voice, and then it happened. Whoosh! The sound of air being cut through went past my ear. Huh? In retrospect, I said that rather meekly. I turned around, swallowing a panicked feeling, and saw a knife stuck in the wall next to me. I let out a yelp and jumped back. Why was there a knife thrown at me? There was a chiding voice from inside the room. Shut up. I heard that voice and my heart leapt. While my heart was pounding, I looked to find the source of the voice, a man lying on a bed in the middle of the room. You're late, even for someone as ugly as you. He dressed sloppily, wearing a dirty white shirt. He doesn't even so much as glance away from the manga he's holding above him. For someone so ugly, you sure are loud. Come to think of it, acting so scared over a little scalpel is also kind of weird. But wait a minute, I interrupted him hurriedly. It's discriminatory to keep calling me ugly. And who are you gonna report me to? The Japanese Association of Ugly People? That kind of places discrimination just by existing. He kept looking at his manga while continuing his ugly attack. The one who's in charge of the Neuroscience Institute, the one who's in charge of my treatment and my childhood friend, is one that I like unbearably much. This is the super high school level neurologist Matsuda Yasuke, probably. I get it. You're a member of that weird association, right? Is that why you're so angry? No, I'm not. And I'm not ugly. Is that right? I guess you aren't ugly after all. I puffed out my chest, grinning. Yeah, I know. I checked in my hand mirror just a minute ago, and I meant to say you're super ugly. Super ugly? I was very shocked and couldn't even think of a response. Don't lie. I'm not ugly. I'm cuter than most people in this world. But no matter how much I fussed, Matsuda-kun never let his eye leave the manga book, and he replied, I know what the word says, but I reserve judgment to myself, so I can say you're ugly. He passed off my arguments as if they were nothing more than the wind. Well then, tell me which part of me is ugly. Tell me which clinic I can get my ugliness fixed from. I cried out in desperation. Is it my eyes or my mouth? What about my voice? Your heart mostly. I can't get my heart fixed at a clinic, oh really? What a poor unfortunate thing. Your face is bad and so is your personality. There's no salvation for someone as ugly as you. Perhaps you should use your ugliness as the object of sympathy. I'm sure if you stand in front of a train station with a donation box, you'll earn at least a little. My shoulders drooped as I became disappointed. With that disappointment, I let my hands relax in a limp state, and they hung by my sides. In any case, who are you? Eh? I found his words surprising and looked up at him. I've only heard your voice, so I don't know who you are yet. You were talking to me this entire time and you didn't know who I was. You still haven't said your name or anything informative. That's pretty rude. My name or anything? Look at me. Look, it's me. No, don't have time to look, Matsuda-kun said while indulged reading his manga. I'm reading. Don't have time. It's just a manga. If you ask me if you had to choose between the manga and me, who would it be? I'd still be listening to you, but as far as looking, I choose the manga any day. I see. So no matter when I came here, your manga would still be more important. That's too cool. I didn't want to be told that. It's better if you just tell me who you are quickly. I get it. I took my notebook out of my backpack and read the cover. Otonashi Ryuko memory notebook. As I read it, I remember my name. It seems my name is Otonashi Ryoko. Maybe. You can't even remember your own name? There's only one person I know who's that stupid. Matsuda-kun let out a sigh. Well then, at least you're not a suspicious person. Could it be you threw that blade at me earlier, mistaking me for a suspicious person? Is that what you're saying? That's right. I'm not the kind of guy who throws blades at people I know. That's an absolute lie. I pointed my finger at Matsuda-kun. Before even checking to see who I was, you said things like, you're late for being ugly, or for an ugly person, you're really loud. You should have realized who I was. Thump. That was the sound made when Matsuda-kun closed his manga finally. He bounced up from the bed with the help of the cushion and he determinedly walked towards me, looking me straight in the eyes. Huh? What's wrong? I stared at him, and I felt a hot feeling all over my body. Do you remember that? Huh? Matsuda-kun gripped my shoulders firmly. He looked me dead straight in the face and slowly grew closer. In a harsh tone of voice, he said, do you remember me calling you ugly when you walked in? I forced myself to stare Matsuda-kun in the face. My chest was pounding and my heartbeat skyrocketed. Well, it seems like that. Maybe I'm getting better. I answered and felt myself start to turn an embarrassing shade of pink. He released my shoulders and turned away from me. With his back turned from me, I heard him mutter under his breath, is it really bad or has it worsened, huh? What has? Don't worry, it's nothing. Matsuda-kun shook his head and said in a commanding tone of voice, right, get on the bed. Better get this over with quickly. My heart still pounding faintly. I put down my backpack and lay down on the bed Matsuda-kun was sleeping on just a short time ago. I felt my body on the soft sheets and smelled the scent, letting it tickle my nostrils. It's definitely Matsuda-kun's scent. I smelled it as I laid on the bed and felt his body temperature. I felt happy. This was a feeling similar to him hugging me. I let out an interesting laugh. Hey, are you laughing? Matsuda-kun stared at me frowning. You sound like a stupid bug with the way you're laughing, and you look like one too. That's too gross. Can't you try laughing at least a little more ordinary? Yo. How is that normal? If anything, that's even more gross. Matsuda-kun pulled out a bowling trolley from the corner of the room. Somehow, balancing on top of the trolley was a complex machine that looked very important. Matsuda-kun pulled the trolley alongside the bed, and with a brief "let's begin," he gazed firmly at the machine as he started operating it. Before I knew it, I was staring at Matsuda-kun. He had soft, smooth hair and narrow eyes peeping out from behind it, ghoulishly long eyelashes, and a pointed chin, thin, small lips, and slender white fingers. Bro, stop looking at me, stupid ugly. And a sharp tongue. That's right, that's Matsuda-kun. I continued lying down and started to write something in my notebook. You don't have to write everything in your notebook, garbage. But if I don't write it down, I won't remember it. As I said that, Matsuda-kun let out a long sigh. Honestly, your head is like a bottomless pit. A bottomless pit? What an awful thing to say. But I suppose it is the case. Everything I see and hear, even if it's something awful, I forget it in an instant. I don't know why. I don't remember a single thing. No matter what it is, my forgetfulness can't be considered normal, that's for sure. But you know, it's not like I forget because I want to. I mean, there's a mental illness or something, isn't there? It can't really be helped. So be a bit nicer. No, well, we can't pinpoint the disease. Matsuda-kun shook his head slightly. A human brain like yours or mine is very complex, and we still don't know everything about it. It's almost like a black box. That's why we can't just cure this disease. He stuck suction pad onto my face and arms while continuing to talk. There's a part of the human brain we call episodic memory. It records personal experience and events. Then the part that creates new memories for the episodic memory is the hippocampus. If the hippocampus is damaged or functioning abnormally, your brain can't create any more episodic memories. There's one case in particular that can be used as an example. There was a man who had a medical procedure to have his hippocampus removed. The story goes that after it happened, he lost the ability to create and store new memories. Since the incident, it's been found that the hippocampus is extremely important to form new memories. However, even if the hippocampus is damaged, it's still possible to create procedural memory, like how to use a tool or how to ride a bike. Of course, you would not actually remember learning how to do it. In short, you would still remember how to ride a bike, even if not being able to remember how you learned to ride one. That's more or less the concept. I see. So even though I'm forgetful, I never forget to read and write things in my notebook. I raised the notebook in question and nodded with a quick yes. Otonashi Ryuko's memory notebook. This notebook itself acts as my memory. It's the one thing I can trust absolutely with everything. That is to say, with this notebook, I can live a more or less normal day-to-day life. That being said, there are still many things that challenge my lack of memory in this school. For instance, while in school tests, I can't review my notes. And as a result of my bad grades, I've been suspended from school. I've been suspended from school? I unintentionally yelled at my notebook. My grades have been that bad. That's awful. Just be thankful you haven't been kicked out altogether. I had to talk to the school officials just to stop them from doing that. Huh? You stood up for me? My chest tightened in delight. I'm so happy. You did such a kind thing for me. Matsuda-kun only scoffed at my comment. I just couldn't risk having my precious research taken from me. Even so, Matsuda-kun had taken the time to do such a nice thing. In your case, your brain doesn't seem to be able to retrieve long-term memories. Perhaps the synaptic connections joining your brain's neurons have been damaged. I can't know for sure until I examine them in more detail. I don't really understand what that means, but I'm just glad I haven't been kicked out. If I had been expelled, I would have been forced to live on the roadside. I don't really have anywhere to go besides this school. I forgot everything else. I don't remember my family or anything. And also, it means we wouldn't get to spend any more time together if I dropped out. Being apart from Matsuda-kun, to me, that was unbelievably scary. I trembled a little just saying it. Don't worry about such a stupid little thing, Matsuda-kun put it bluntly. You're extremely good research material that I'm not willing to let go of so easily for now. But that's just for now. I guess I'm happy, but I need to make sure I don't cause any trouble. Stop complaining. You should be honored you're such important research. Then he said in a condescending manner, in order to understand what triggers amnesia, we need to find the molecular mechanism that it's connected to. Once we find that, our understanding of memory will improve a tenfold. We'll even be able to create medications to improve memory. Then maybe in the future we'll be able to even store backups of our memories on hard drives. If it's possible to create that sort of system, actually, there are studies delving into that currently in foreign countries. By suppressing protein kinase MZ, it's been found it's possible to erase a lab rat's long-term memory. I see. I didn't really understand, but I raised my voice so it sounded like I did. In any case, I'm super happy I can help my beloved Matsuda-kun. A girl with such a hollow mind is going to say hollow things. You really are a hollow girl in the end. I worried since I was so idiotic. I didn't understand what he meant at all. But that's Matsuda-kun for you. Matsuda-kun insists I take care of myself, though I oppose him on that. He always put things very harshly and coldly, not bothering to be delicate with someone like me. But then again, it was troublesome when people would always act sympathetic to me. So in the end, Matsuda-kun spoke to me with just right attitude. Well, even if I'm hollow, I'm still super happy because I'm helping my dearest Matsuda-kun, whom I love so much. Not all discouraged by his words, I yelled out that, and he muttered something in return. Well, you are certainly helpful since you're such a rare case. You said rare. That makes it sound so special. I was happy to be given such praise. Hey, you said rare, so what's rare about it? Hey, tell me, hey, tell me. Hey, shut up, Matsuda-kun spat out while releasing another sigh. I guess I won't tell you now, since you're getting too excited for your own good. It's fine, tell me. My efforts paid off, and Matsuda-kun finally told me. It's just strange that someone with such brain-intensive talent has ended up with lost memory. That's what I meant. Talent, brain intensive? I thought about it briefly and couldn't think of what he was talking about. It's fine if you've forgotten. I hate it when you see the talent of yours on me. To be truthful, I prefer it if you never used it on me. Got it, you stupid bug? I didn't really understand, but hey, he insulted me. I know I caught that much. Well, I don't mind if I don't remember. I get to spend all these intimate moments with Matsuda-kun, and so I'm kind of glad I have this illness. I already explained, it's not an illness. Matsuda-kun hid the grin on my face by placing more suction pads on my face. But I have to admire that carefree attitude of yours. Even in such a serious predicament, you still laugh and smile. Shouldn't you be worrying? And why would I be worrying? Well, you know, Matsuda-kun said with a surprised expression. You don't seem to care at all about what I've been telling you. For instance, whether your symptoms will ever be cured or whether you'll always be like this. I made a shocked face. There was something funny about what Matsuda-kun was asking me. Not at all. And so I laughed. So what if I only remember things around me right now? It's not like I can remember having a good memory, so I have nothing to really compare myself to. So I don't think this forgetfulness is really such a drawback. That's more or less what I've been thinking. Your memory loss isn't a disadvantage. But aren't you worried at all about when it began or when it'll end? I don't really care. I mean, once I'm cured, the treatment will be over. But when that happens, I won't be able to meet with you anymore. That's the only thing I'm worried about. After I said that, there was a strange silence. The silence continued for a while until Matsuda sighed and muttered, "You should worry." His voice was low and depressing. "What if you'll always be like this, huh?" He suddenly looked up, his face peeking out from behind his dark hair. He looked deep in thought. "Matsuda-kun?" He reacted finally when I called his name. "No, it's nothing." He looked as though he was trying to figure out something in his mind. He waved his hand to imply that it really was nothing to fuss over. It's really best that you don't get too depressed over your symptoms. It's good that you're so carefree over it. But my mind is flexible after all. Yeah, I definitely say flexible. Given that you've forgotten your family and friends and everything about yourself from before your amnesia struck. Like I said, I don't mind forgetting any of those things as long as I'm with you. Since I've forgotten about being with anyone else, I figured they just have nothing to do with me anymore. Those words again, Matsuda-kun said while taking a brief moment to blink. If you keep saying they have nothing to do with you, then aren't you afraid you'll end up no longer being you? It's fine since I'm with you, I answered him cheerfully, full of confidence, since you're the only person I really remember. As long as I'm with you, I'll never be alone. No, you only remember me because I'm part of the treatment and your procedural memory. That's the only reason. You said I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I get, Matsuda-kun said, trying to get me to quieten down. He continued attaching the suction pads, pausing briefly to scratch at his chest through the gap between the buttons on his dirty shirt. Did he really understand what I was trying to say? He was probably just tired of dealing with me. Maybe he didn't believe me when I said I remembered him, but I do. Certainly, what I call remembering is probably a little different to what a normal person would. But I was telling the truth. I remember Matsuda-kun. I forgot him, but I still remember him. I don't remember any of our conversations or what we've done together, but that doesn't mean I don't remember him. Those kinds of things are best left in my notebook. What I remember is something more important and special. What I remember is a feeling rather than a memory. It's not something I remember in my head, nor something in my mind. What I remember are feelings for Matsuda-kun. But when I do see him, I remember the feelings I have in my heart. And it feels like it's trying to tell me he's something important. He is absolutely irreplaceable to me. So no matter how forgetful I become, I'll never forget Matsuda-kun. The connection between Matsuda-kun and I are more than just memories. In short, the bond we share is a miracle, and will you shut up alright? My mind quickly returned to the real world. How could you hear my thoughts? I was about to jump away, but Matsuda pinned down my head. If you move around too much, the cords will come off. What a waste of human life. He said those harsh words as though he thought I really meant to pull off the cords. But I wasn't even talking aloud. You told me to shut up. Is it possible you were telling me my pounding heart to shut up? That's impossible. 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 If it stopped being, I'd die. I was talking about outside. Huh? Outside? Matsuda-kun raised his chin and pointed to the window. As I listened, I could hear a variety of strange noises coming from the other side of the window. Jeers, roars, hooting, accusations, and repulsion all combined to make something that sounded almost as if the earth was trembling. It was a collection of harsh, hate-filled voices. What is that? It's the parade, honestly. It's been growing louder and louder every day. Parade? You don't mean that parade, do you? You don't even remember what I'm talking about, Matsuda-kun hit my forehead. Then he put on a serious expression and continued with his explanation. To be straight, it's a demonstration. The faculty, though, or rather those idiots from the steering committee, decided it would be better to give it a ridiculous name like parade. But a parade isn't really a demonstration, is it? That's exactly the point. Although a demo isn't really, it's not shocking. Matsuda-kun decided to just ignore me. It's the people from the preparatory school. The preparatory school? I don't think I've heard of it before, have I? You really don't remember after all. Well, it can't be helped for someone with such a large head like yourself. Wait, it's harassment to call a girl's head large. You're like someone straight from the Edo or oof. Matsuda-kun pushed me down by my head just as I was about to stand up. Firstly, Hope Speak Academy isn't an institute purely for teaching, unlike other schools. Here, talent isn't only taught, but it's also researched. It's the same for the teachers. They're not only here for teaching, but also they're here as scientists. But scientists are nasty things. They try to advocate their research more, but there was something they were lacking. Do you know what it was? It was probably funds. Ah, that's it. I was disappointed. I lost my chance to answer and ended up only saying a little. Up until now, Hope's Peak Academy gained its funds from government grants and donations from the school's alumni. but many felt as though the school was not receiving enough funding and their research was slowed. The steering committee was obviously disappointed. Thus, in order to further pursue talent, they created a preliminary system. I nodded my head and hummed in agreement. The point is, there's us, the super high school levels, or the regular students, and then there are the reserve students. We're all situated in the East District while they're all in the West. So we don't know much about each other, but what I do know is that they seem to be completely different to us. Firstly, they don't seem to be scattered out, and they have to sit through a normal high school entrance exam. Secondly, our school teachers are scientists who live at the school, while they bring the preparatory school teachers from outside, so then it's just a normal high school. Yeah, that's right, but even so, the school was flooded with applicants from students. Brand power really is something. Matsuda-kun spat those words. That said, as far as the public were concerned, this private school, which up until now had only scouted its students, had opened its doors for everyone. Of course, people would flock to such a brand name. Also, this place was able to collect money by people paying with an arm and leg just to get in. So this place has become much more crowded recently. Of course, the school grounds have widened a fair bit, and much to the envy of many experts, we built more top of the range facilities, one after the other. This school has rapidly grown in size. It's just no one would have thought Hope's Peak Academy would have changed so dramatically in size in just 2 years. And that's the story about the power of the steering committee. But isn't that kind of a ripoff? It seems like it. But it's just the kind of world we live in. Matsuda-kun distorted his face into a bitter smile, and then he continued. Right now, Hope's Peak Academy is set up in a pyramid sort of idea that a third world country will use. It's only really there to concentrate its effort on the super high school levels for their benefit, and then below them are the reserve students from the preparatory school. Apparently, it's possible to move up from the preparatory school to the regular school, but it's questionable as to whether anyone has actually managed it. The teachers here don't really think any of the reserve students really belong here. They shouldn't be teachers, well, they are teachers, but more importantly, they're scientists, and they're not interested in those students. That's what it seems like to me. They have their eyes set on the talent of humanity. But that's unfair. As I said that, I puffed out my cheeks without thinking. Of course it's unfair. If it wasn't, that demonstration wouldn't be happening. But having said that, Matsuda-kun coughed there and changed his tone of voice. I don't think it was them who planned this. It's more likely someone else's plot. I feel like that must be it. Matsuda-kun narrowed his eyes towards the window. The roughness from his glare caused me to hesitate to say anything. Oi, ugly. After a while, Matsuda-kun said something after remembering. Make sure you write down some of our conversation in that notebook of yours. You can't just flush it off as it's not my problem. Those reserve students don't seem to be very interested in us. But I don't think they'd attack you or anything, but please to be careful. Right, got it. I replied. I noticed my face was so covered in suction pads that I could barely move my mouth. I'm going out for a while. You can sleep if you want. Matsuda-kun only said that and started to walk away from me. But I'm not sleepy at all. My voice filled with anxiety, and just outside my peripheral vision, I could hear Matsuda-kun answer. In that case, why don't I give you some sleeping pills? Say around a dozen, and wouldn't that be a lethal dose? Is that really okay? I could feel myself grow increasingly worried until Matsuda-kun came back. On top of his stained white shirt, he was now wearing a school jacket. Don't you dare touch any of my machines while I'm gone, or I'll kill you. So where are you going? Just on a few small errands. In any case, don't you dare touch any of my machines while I'm gone, or I'll kill you. I could tell he was being serious because he repeated it, but I wouldn't mind if it was Matsuda-kun who killed me. I don't want to. That's too grotesque for me. Not as grotesque as someone who spends all day studying the human brain. Of course I wouldn't say that out loud to him. So when you come back from running those errands, let's watch a movie together. A movie? Yeah. What was it called again? I flipped through my notebook to see if it contained any memories of any movies. This is it. Let's see. It takes place at the McAllister household where two robbers, Harry and Marv. You don't mean Home Alone, do you? It's no surprise you've already forgotten, but you've bugged me about this movie before a lot, so we've already seen it. Oh, have we? Well then, I flipped through my notebook again, looking for memories of other movies I wanted to see, but Home Alone was the only one written down. It's just his own fault for letting me watch it, but I'm sure it was a masterpiece. I'd definitely be interested to watch again. It certainly wasn't a bad movie, but I don't think it's something I would normally watch again. Normal? Did you say normal? Then what were you normal? Stop asking me stuff. That sounds like it came out of a junior high school girl's diary. He looked at me with disgust, but I was determined not to give up. That's fine. I've got a feeling that I'll be just as interesting to watch it a second time. Then I flipped through my notebook quickly again. According to what I wrote down, the star Ryoko Culkin is super cute. He's cute. Isn't that great? Why would I think that's great? Anyway, his name is Macaulay Culkin. Ryoko or woman's underwear. It says here that he's ultra cute and I want to adopt him for my own. But you don't know what Culkin-kun looks like now. You sound like a pervert. A pervert? I was beaten down by his sharp tongue. Matsuda-kun narrowed his eyes more while sweeping his veins away from his face. It's fine, just shut up and go to sleep already. Apparently, it seemed like he was done talking to me. Wait, don't go, I said desperately, trying to stop him. I don't want you to. No, I'll be lonely if you go. It's been such a long time since we last met up, and I'll be lonely when you leave. A long time? Matsuda-kun stopped suddenly in mid-stride. Why do you think it's been a long time since we last met up? I ask you, why do you think it's been a long time since we last saw each other? With his back turned, his voice sounded like he was pushing back a painful feeling. Having heard that, I was only confused. Well, because I can feel my heart thumping. That was the excuse I used. So your heart wouldn't be pounding so loudly if we saw each other every day? No, that's not it. That's not what I meant. Anyway, we saw each other yesterday. Really? Just as I thought. Your memory isn't getting any better. Matsuda-kun slackened his posture, looking disappointed. So then, you lied about being able to remember me too. Wait a second! Don't jump to conclusions. I hurriedly flipped through my notebook from start to end, but I didn't find any mention of meeting with Matsuda-kun yesterday. I looked up again, but couldn't see Matsuda-kun anywhere. Chich, he won. Well, there's nothing more I can do. Geez, I guess I have to sleep then. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. At least if I can If I sleep, I can immerse myself in my dreams away from this lonely place without Matsuda-kun and into my dreams of him. Feeling such hope in my chest, I moved onto my side, being careful not to remove any of the suction pads on my face, and I smelled Matsuda-kun's scent on the pillow as if I were a puppy. Ho ho ho. I pressed my cheek against the pillow. Ho ho ho. Matsuda-kun scent. Then I closed my eyes. My vision blacked out and my other senses sharpened. Soon my entire world was filled with the smell of Matsuda-kun. No, that's not all. I could hear a voice somewhere, like it came tumbling into the world Matsuda-kun and me. It was a lot of voices overflowing with hate. They pounded in my ear and filled me with uncertainty. I quickly tried to block them out. It's not my problem, but I think I've forgotten how to fall asleep. I can't go to sleep quite yet, but I want to soon. If I fall asleep, I can go over the world where Matsuda-kun is. I want to see Matsuda-kun again. Matsuda-kun, 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 Matsuda-kun. As I thought more about seeing Matsuda-kun in my dreams, I slowly, peacefully fell asleep. Okay. And that's the end of this video. Bye guys.